A day before NATO leaders met in Washington to mark the 75th anniversary of the Atlantic Alliance, Russia launched a massive attack on Ukraine, including its capital, in broad daylight. Russian forces used medium-range missiles, the same type that Moscow has announced it plans to resume manufacturing, and which could be outfitted with nuclear warheads. Resuming production of this type of missile enables Moscow to continue its strikes on central and western Ukraine. The announcement came as Russia said the United States was producing missile systems and shipping them to Denmark and the Philippines, while pushing for NATO expansion last year with the additions of Sweden and Finland.
I think Russia would have done it regardless of the NATO enlargement. I think Russia is in need of these types of missiles also in Ukraine. So I don't subscribe to the idea that this is something that has just come up due to NATO enlargement, etc. But obviously, Putin and the Kremlin, they want to give this impression that NATO enlargement is the cause of all this.
The Kremlin routinely accuses Western nations of escalating tensions by supplying anti-aircraft systems, tanks, and fighter jets to Ukraine. But some warn Moscow's latest threats to boost its missile capabilities should not be taken lightly.
The threats that Putin is making about the use of nuclear weapons are not to be trivialized, right? These aren't something that any responsible observer or analyst of national security can set aside. It is likely, or it is plausible that a very desperate Putin might use some of his tactical nuclear arsenal.
Russia has not achieved the quick, clear-cut victory it hoped for when it invaded Ukraine in 2022. And it is still unclear which side will win what has become a war of attrition at a high cost in lives. Observers say this scenario has Moscow looking to more drastic and desperate measures in hopes of pressuring Western nations to cut their support for Ukraine. For Ricardo, Marquina, Marcus Harton, VOA News.